Australia is preparing to deport tens of thousands of migrants in 2025, and many don't even know they're on the list. Chapter 1. The Sudden Announcement. It began with a single announcement in late 2024, buried deep in a press release from the Department of Home Affairs. A new law, new powers, new enforcement actions, but behind the bureaucratic language was something far more urgent. Australia is planning the largest coordinated deportation campaign in its modern history. More than 80,000 people currently living in the country without valid visas are being targeted for removal in 2025. These are not criminals. Many are long-term residents, workers, students, and families who, for a variety of reasons, fell out of status, and now they're being told it's time to leave or face prison. Chapter 2. The Law Behind the Action. The driving force behind this campaign is the Migration Amendment, Removal and Other Measures Bill 2024. This legislation passed with little fanfare but has far-reaching implications. The bill gives the Minister for Immigration sweeping new authority. It allows the government to compel non-citizens to cooperate with their own removal. If they refuse, they could face up to 5 years in prison or a fine exceeding $90,000. The bill also allows for the reversal of prior protection decisions, including those for refugees. And if a migrant's country of origin won't cooperate in taking them back, the government can now place new visa bans on that country, affecting future applicants. This is not just policy reform, it's a structural reset. Chapter 3. Who's being targeted? The number being cited is 80,000. But what does that really mean? According to internal documents, the figure includes over 75,000 people currently living in Australia without a valid visa, about 4,400 individuals on Bridging Visa E, which is usually issued to those awaiting departure, nearly 1,000 people in immigration detention, many of whom have been there for months or years. What ties all of these individuals together is one thing. They are now considered unlawful non-citizens. That term may sound technical, but its consequences are anything but. Chapter 4. The Human Stories. Consider Rajiv, a hospitality worker from Nepal who overstayed his student visa by 8 months. He's been working under the table, sending money home and hoping to apply for a partner visa. But under the new rules, he's now a candidate for detention and deportation. Or Maria, who fled domestic violence in her home country, filed a protection visa and has been waiting nearly 2 years for a decision. Her claim could be reviewed and reversed, sending her back into danger. These stories are no longer rare. They are part of a growing wave of uncertainty spreading across migrant communities. Chapter 5. Mass departures already underway. What began as policy is now becoming action. The Australian Border Force has confirmed that deportations are already being scheduled in larger numbers. Charter flights are being booked, international agreements are being renegotiated, and community removal operations are being ramped up across all states. According to data from late 2024, over 2,300 people were deported in the second half of the year alone, a number expected to rise to 10,000 per quarter by mid-2025. For many, the first sign they're being targeted comes as a knock on the door at dawn. Chapter 6. Unlawful but not criminal. There's a dangerous assumption developing in public conversations that people being deported must have done something wrong. But overstaying a visa is not a criminal offense in Australia. Neither is applying for protection and being refused, nor is changing course mid-study due to financial hardship. Most of the people in this group are not lawbreakers. They are migrants who entered legally, followed the rules, until something changed. In fact, many of them were caught in backlogs, policy reversals, or visa transitions that didn't go as planned. Yet now, under the new law, they're being grouped together and labeled unlawful. Chapter 7. The Role of Third Countries. One of the most controversial aspects of this plan is that not everyone will be sent back to their home country. In cases where deportation to a person's country of origin is not possible due to conflict, instability, or non-cooperation, the Australian government is exploring third country resettlement. This means sending people to countries where they may have no family, no history, no protection. Advocates have raised serious concerns. What criteria are being used to choose these countries? Are deportees being informed of their destination? Are their rights being protected? So far, the answers remain unclear. Chapter 8. Impact on families and children. Another tragic consequence of these mass deportations is the impact on mixed-status families. Take this scenario. A child is born in Australia and is a citizen. One parent is on a valid visa, but the other parent, due to a failed application, is now facing deportation. What happens? In some cases, the family will leave together. In others, parents are being separated from their children. A few have had to make an unthinkable decision, leave their child behind to secure their own safety. These aren't hypotheticals. They're happening now in Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, and beyond. Chapter 9. Increased powers, less oversight. With the new legislation, the Minister for Immigration can override decisions made by the Administrative Appeals Tribunal. Protection visa grants can be reversed. Deportation orders can be issued without a court hearing. In effect, the government has removed the requirement for judicial review in many immigration enforcement cases. That has human rights lawyers worried. They argue that this level of executive power risks serious errors, especially when people's lives are on the line. And without proper oversight, migrants have fewer ways to challenge unfair or incorrect decisions. Chapter 10. Political and public response. Public opinion on immigration has shifted in recent years. With growing pressure on housing, jobs, and services, some Australians see tighter immigration enforcement as necessary. Politically, the government is presenting this crackdown as a cleanup of a broken system. Officials claim it's about ensuring fairness and restoring public confidence, but others argue it's a distraction, a way to appear tough without addressing the real issues. Visa processing delays, lack of skilled migration planning, and an overwhelmed appeals system. Whatever the motivation, the result is the same. Thousands of people being shown the door. Chapter 11. The risk of wrongful deportation. What happens when a mistake is made? In 2021, a man was deported despite holding a valid visa because of a database error. It took 3 years and a court case to get him back into the country. In 2023, a woman was deported after a protection visa refusal, despite her having filed an appeal that had not yet been heard. Under the new laws, these kinds of mistakes could become more common. The speed and scale of enforcement increases the risk, and with fewer opportunities for review, wrong decisions may never be corrected. Chapter 12. Are you at risk? Here's what puts someone at risk under the 2025 deportation plan. You are in Australia without a valid visa. You have had a protection visa refused, and no further appeals are allowed. You are on Bridging Visa E and have not made arrangements to leave. You were granted a visa due to past ministerial discretion, which can now be overturned. You have not complied with directions to help arrange your departure. If any of these apply, your case could be subject to immediate review. Chapter 13. What you can do right now. If you believe you might be affected, here are 5 things to do immediately. 1. Seek professional advice. Don't rely on forums or social media. Contact a registered migration agent or immigration lawyer. 2. Get your documentation in order. Make sure your identity documents, visa paperwork, and correspondence with Home Affairs are complete and up to date. 3. Track your visa status. Use the online VEVO system or contact immigration directly to verify your standing. 4. Avoid risky movements. Border Force operations are targeting airports, workplaces, and even private homes. Know your rights and have legal support ready if needed. 5. Connect with support groups. Many organizations now offer legal clinics, emergency housing, and advocacy for migrants at risk of deportation. Time matters. The earlier you act, the better your chances. Chapter 14. What lies ahead? Australia's immigration enforcement in 2025 is entering a new phase, one built on high-volume removals, fast-track decisions, and reduced pathways for appeal. The system is moving toward what some call a compliance-first model. Others say it's a survival-of-the-fittest approach. Either way, it's clear that the safety nets are being removed, and anyone without a valid visa is being placed in immediate danger of removal. The decisions you make now will shape whether you stay or go. To watch the latest update on Australian immigration policies, watch this video here.